in Legacy, right?
Oh yeah, this is like a kind of like a blast from the past, kind of. The winner of this match is gonna walk away with 3 copies of Underground Sea, and the second um, gets 2 Tundras, right?
Yeah.
And the rest of the top 8 competitors, they also got their dual lands. You know, we got like bayous and plateaus, and dude, this many dual lands, it's kind of unreal to me, like how this is even possible. But apparently Spain is the yeah, it's like
I mean, a
some
big
magical place.
a big part of that is like all the sponsors, right? We got Really
Oh
Bizarre,
yeah,
we got Eldritch Gate, we got Card Market, we got Ultimate Guard, and we also got the Everyday Channel podcast
oh damn,
and the city of Naron.
oh yeah,
Naron, near A Coruña. If you want to come next year, as you should, you fly to either Madrid, then take a flight to A Coruña. We will find a way to get you to Naron, super easy. And yeah, they decided, okay, we want this. We talked about this earlier. Some like cities in the world, they want Tour de France stages. Some want the Olympics. Naron wants a big legacy tournament. And also apparently like a retro gaming exhibition. Like this is my dream of a tournament. I was just like walking over to retro gaming. They were playing like Metal Slug, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. What else was there? Like NBA Jam like 97 or something. This is out of this world. I think there's gonna be another exhibition tomorrow about retro gaming. Maybe I'm actually gonna skip the modern main event and just like go retro gaming. By the way, and speaking of modern, tomorrow is gonna be way over 200
yeah.
players,
It's
right?
gonna be even bigger. Um, the streaming times will be pretty much the same. So starting at 10 a.m. I believe, and throughout the whole day until like 11 p.m. If you live on the east or west coast, that's gonna translate like -9 hours. So you might be able to watch maybe like the last couple of rounds during your lunchtime. But you know, as the tournament progresses, we also get more and more people in the chat, and overall, we're having a blast here. Thank you so much for all your follows and subscriptions and like all this stuff, right?
Okay, everybody, since this is the last match, I want everybody to pick the winner. Chat, let us know. Who do you think is going to take? Is it going to be Carlos on Reanimator,
Yeah.
or is this going to be Riccardo on 8cast?
You know, I always do it like a 30 second poll. You know, you got 30 seconds, chat. Right in the poll, like, what do you think? It's gonna be like Reanimator or 8cast? Who's gonna take this down?
Kai, you got to make a decision now before we
I
see chat's answers.
Oh yeah, dude. I have a pretty strong opinion on this matchup, honestly.
Oh, really?
I haven't played it myself, but I do think that Reanimator is pretty favored in this
Oh,
matchup.
is it? What makes it so?
It may I'm thinking like the graveyard hate pieces in the 8 cast deck are usually the ones that can be searched off Ursa Saga. However, Ursa Saga is hella slow.
Hmm.
So unless you have those like what is it, like not Graph Digger's Cage, but the Soga Lantern, if you have that in your unless you have it in your opening hand, ah, you might be a little bit in trouble. There is still Chalice of the Void, which you can play on one. There's still a few Force of Wills, and you can also bounce creatures with like Otawara, or maybe even just power out the opponent with some gigantic constructs. But it's not gonna be easy.
And
What
chat's
do you
placing
think?
the bets. Well, I I think it can be okay. Like now, okay, now that I think about it some more, actually, I like Carlos. Okay, so here's my thinking. Ricardo is a blue deck. He can be pretty explosive, can have force of words, but it takes like at least like some turns, right, to get the draw engines and stuff online. So I'm with you. I think Carlos is gonna do the reanimator thing where you fire off one discard early on, and that could be enough. Unless Ricardo, get something out like maybe a Chalice on the Void, but even then, Reanimator can be somewhat resilient. Like it's also not unheard of for Reanimator to go to 8 card discard, right? If you
Oh
like
yeah,
a
you can totally
big
do that.
party in your hand, you just like 8 card discard. I think there have been some mulligans involved in this game, so that's
All
not
right.
much of an option.
Yeah, off you go.
Sai, yeah, okay. We got Mr. Sai making a couple of tokens. Usually a pretty good start, especially if you can follow it up with something. And that's the beauty of Sai, right? Not only do you get the tokens, you also get to put a bunch of artifacts into play. And at that moment, you can like thought monitor, thought cast, all what you want, and like get really deep into the game. And that's what Carlos is probably gonna try to stop. Carlos wants to like end this game before the Sai actually becomes relevant.
Um, yeah. This is I'm a little surprised to see Sai on turn one and not something like a Chalice or an Embry or yeah, like because like those are like the more like typical starts for 8 cast. Sai is something in most games you see like rather on like turn 2, 3, or maybe even later in the game when you have already established a board. But
I mean, the earlier you play it, the better, right? That's the whole idea. You see the thoughtcast is how close is it actually be to turning on? You still need, but you get the island extra. Yeah, we can thoughtcast next turn. Of course, Carlos has something to say about that. Yeah, we're gonna check out the thoughtcast, and I guess at that point we're gonna crack the bubble, right? I
oh
mean,
yeah,
now that bubble, we really want to draw something that's relevant here. We can attack for 2 next turn. By the way, you think that's an official Wizards token? That top that token? Could also be a Savatarix token.
it could be, yeah.
Custom-made Savatarix
looks
tokens on Savatarix.com. I would love to see those.
damn, that might be a
And I
pretty
speak from experience. Like 2 of my construct tokens in Painter, they are actually original, unique Savatarix pieces.
thank you. Yeah, folks, if you got a second, please also check out my homepage where I sell like tokens and stickers and playmats, very unique stuff, and coaching sessions and whatnot for Legacy and Modern. It's savatarix.com. Thank you so much. But please, after these finals, because this is going to be pretty intense here, as we see a turn 1 Grizzlebrand.
Yeah,
This is,
Commission
dude,
Daddy,
isn't this like the nuts
Lifelink
from
Harder.
Reanimator?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? Like turn 1 Unaskew and Grizzle
much.
Daddy.
I mean, if you're in the finals of a almost 200 player event,
Wow.
this is what you want from your deck.
Dude, Carlos is running hot.
Yeah.
This is
Carlos really wants those.
yeah, dude. Like he really wants those 3 underground seas.
Something we haven't mentioned yet, by the way. Both players now qualified for the European Legacy Masters of this year. It's gonna be in September, I wanna say,
Yeah.
right?
First,
this is where Europe crowns their Legacy champion.
first weekend in September.
You're gonna be there?
I will be there. I haven't booked my flight yet, and I better hurry because some might know that I'm not the best at booking flights.
Oh, we got one of the organizers. We got Tom the Decker, our friend from Belgium, here in chat. September 2nd, Bologna, so check that one out. And as we do that, like, what are the odds of Riccardo actually recovering from Mr. Grizzle Daddy? I don't think too much, right? There's not too much you can really do about the Grizzle brand. It's kind of enough.
There's still like there's also like an Ether spell bomb in Riccardo's deck, which kind of stops the bleeding, but is not like a permanent answer.
I mean, the problem is like the cards you've already drawn on of the Grizzle brand, right? So at that point, I mean, stopping the Grizzle brand is a start, and from there, if you can put on some pressure, and I mean, I guess I can. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, this is Emery.
This is Emery.
Yeah, this is Emery, like a secret layer Emery. Look of the
I'm
last.
so happy I have you around here because I would have
Dude,
told you this is like somebody
you
drawing
know,
in the swamp.
dude, I was told I have to comment some legacy matches, so I took a peek at all the secret layers that
Oh,
were
you did?
released.
You actually you prepared yourself for this?
A little bit.
Oh, that's
a
actually
little bit.
amazing. What a nerd.
I did, dude.
Is there anything interesting and we can actually get? Oh, honestly, okay. Here's the thing. We talked about the spell bomb. Obviously, we don't have that yet. If we actually find the spell bomb, we can actually just like keep bouncing those creatures that Riccardo says forever.
Well, like it looks kind of terrible for Riccardo, but it's not.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, but it's not lights out. Those Thopters can also jump block for a few turns, so Riccardo technically doesn't die.
You can actually deny the lifelink. You jump block with a top down, then you sacrifice two tokens if you have them.
Oh yeah, that's
and then like
good
yeah,
point.
Grizzle Daddy, no lifelink for you today, unless you find maybe Trample or something. Put Rain Corner Grizzlebrand, and you shall win the tournament like right on the spot. I'm not sure anybody has ever done that. Is Grizzlebrand like an allowed? Can you break Grizzlebrand? Grizzlebrand is a commander. Okay, if you break Grizzlebrand as a commander, you're probably not gonna put Raincore on it. But maybe Grizzlebrand just doesn't care. Animate that, yeah. And okay, this is interesting. I guess we name Artifact.
Yeah, you can still say creatures, but I guess if you say an artifact, you can also blank something like Ether Spellbomb.
Oh, Grizzlebrand is completely banned the commander. Okay, I knew commander would get some things,
Dude,
right?
I've never seen you play commander, so
Oh, you haven't?
no, not
No,
yet.
dude. I wanna say I've probably played more French dual commander matches than most other people.
most people on this planet.
At that time, like I stopped playing it like a couple years ago, so I can't really say that anymore. But there was a time I actually literally almost stopped playing Legacy just because I
really?
was going to dual commander.
Really?
I pretty much stopped playing Legacy for like half a year, because dual commander is addicting. Anyway, Carlos, yeah, just like doing his thing. Riccardo just barely hanging on. Kappa Cannoneer would have been a nice one, but with Sarah Emissary out there, yeah, Kados, like, this looks really good for Kados. Come on. When you don't know whether they're like searching the library or their hand, you know you're in trouble.
if the if the hand is like as big as a library, you got a problem.
Yeah. Quickly, let me search my hand.
Quickly, let me search my hand.
Okay, that's gonna be a huge discard. Is this all we're gonna discard? Oh no, that's what we're gonna keep, and we're gonna discard the rest. Okay, Atraxa goes to a graveyard, along with a couple
Yeah.
of griefs.
All the boys in the bin. Yeah. So like, what outs do we have on the 8 cast? I guess
yeah, we have a very defined out.
yeah we
It's called game 2 and 3.
oh yeah, I don't mind that. I guess we can delay that a little bit with that bauble.
As we do here. Okay,
Um,
we're gonna make more of the. We still don't know what has been named on the Animate Dead, but I would think it's artifacts. But
yeah,
let's
on
see.
the angel, you mean?
I
Yeah.
mean, the reason why I think it's artifact is because like we shut off the spell bomb to bounce and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we could name, of course, creature just like so we can attack past the creatures, but yeah, let's see where this takes us. I mean, all the stuff you would really care about are artifacts, anyways, right? The constructs, the Kappa Cannoneer.
You know what's happening right now. I think artifact was the call on Sarah's emissary,
Yeah.
and the check is like can the bauble target the target Carlos, right?
I mean,
It's
Ursa's
probably
Bubble can target yourself, so I would guess that Ursa's Bubble can also like target yourself.
oh yeah.
It's kind of funny because then you look at a random card in your hand. Riccardo's like, okay, let me do that. I do that all the time anyway. It's like it's what I built my Magic game on. I constantly look at the cards in my hand. It's a pretty big advantage. I would recommend it to anyone. Carlos here. Another Entomb. Yeah,
Oh man, yeah. Carlos is just going through the motions here, but that's exactly what we talked about earlier, right? Like the first game especially is, I think is Carlos is like heavily favored in this match because like Ricardo's deck is built to keep up with control decks or can generate enough flyers to keep up with Murktide Regent or Dragon's Way Chandler or maybe block like Dark Depths tokens, things like that. But like a turn one Grizzlebrand that is usually lights out. And yeah, we move to game number 2.
I once managed to beat it with Elves. Opponent went turn 1 Grizzlebrand, I won with Elves.
Oh, did you rip that one of Caracas or what?
No, I did not deal with the Grizzlebrand at all.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I put Lana Elves into play, then I untapped, and then I killed them. Elves is pretty tricky. Elves is really cool. I like it.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
Like, no respect.
When I do stuff like that, I love myself too.
Yeah.
But only then. Yeah, Carlos probably loves life as well. Like 1-0 up, one step away from becoming the Impact Returns 2023 champion. What do we have in sideboard here? Serenity. Now that sounds really good.
Oh my goodness. Serenity. We do see a wear tear, which I think is really appealing. The 4 show and tells I also like quite a bit.
Okay. Okay.
Just as a way to to sidestep like the Sogar Lanterns and other things. It also cannot be chaliced. It's not too bad.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what I think about the Orcish Bowmasters now, like because it is technically not really a main plan. It's not even like plan B or C, but it does like the 8 chaos deck draws a lot of cards, right? Like that's the one thing that is the core theme of the 8 cast deck. And if the Bowmasters can maybe, let's just keep Emry in check or any of the ground creatures, or maybe even start pinging Riccardo. That might be a plan. However, it is pretty poor versus Ursa Saga. So yeah, we gotta see like if you see any orcs here. But those show and tells and those serenities look insane.
But I can point something out. It's not going to be relevant for this match, but you talked about this on Everyday Eternal. You see that live from the loam?
Oh heck yeah, that's some Japanese technology right there.
Yeah, this is straight out of Japan.
Oh,
Tell us about what is the life from loam actually supposed to do?
So the life from the loam is I think like the only green card in this otherwise mono blue 8 cast deck, and it is here to rebuy Otawara's Soaring City, as well as the Ursa Sagas. Once you run out of them, beautiful tool in the mirror game. beautiful for any long game. And yeah, like rebuying like bounce spells like Otawara is pretty good.
Yeah. So what are we gonna see coming in? Like Force of Negation, that's a given, right? Torment Script, Hull Breacher, I could see as well. Karagas, yeah. Ferry Macab for sure. And I mean, you mentioned rebuying Otawara. Like, is that too cute to like bring in? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
you also have to take something out, right? It's not like it's a
you
free sided.
you have to, you have
Yeah,
to. Yeah, like all the counters in and all the graveyard hate cards can also come in. I don't know about Caracas, like bouncing a Gristlebrand is like kind of so-so.
that's
Um,
true. That's true.
also Hull Breacher is cute and all. Let's see if we have those slots left. I think we do see a heavy cut on those Kappa Cannoneers probably, or like size, because like again, like the name of the game is not to race with any Thopters or have a giant Kappa in play, especially in the face of Archon of Cruelty. I think it. I think that Riccardo has to become like a 8 card, like a control deck, right? Like a real control deck post sideboard. Pithneal doesn't seem terrible versus Crystal Brand. We might see some shaves on like Mox Opals maybe, um, and yeah, maybe even a land. Who knows?
Huh. Yeah, I mean, we know that both players have access to each other's deck list, and
Hmm.
Ricardo is certainly not happy about seeing those two Serenities. On the other end, you still gotta have them, right? It's not like this is a Brainstorm
Yeah.
Honor Preordain
Oh,
deck.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Serenity is like like a few rounds earlier. Like, we saw like a lethal Serenity out of a Stoneblade deck versus 8 cast.
I'm still so sad that the
That was
Stormblade
like
deck actually didn't
that was
make it
like
to its own
painful
phase.
to watch. Yeah, that was like a 4-for-1 or like a 5-for-1
Yeah, yeah,
trade.
complete utter destruction. So actually, let's see what is Ricardo doing there. We're removing one more card. He's gonna be on the play, so I think honestly, you probably like have to kind of ignore Serenity. Like if you
Um,
got a big, powerful opening, I think you just go for it.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You can't really hold yourself back against Reanimator, I would say. You just go for it, and then even if Serenity comes down, maybe you can still draw a bunch of cards with like your Thought Monitor and Thoughtcast cards.
Like, yeah, who knows? Like, even if Ricardo has a counter, there there might be like what's worse, right? Like losing most of your permanents or them having a Gristlebrand in play.
Yeah,
Like it's
choosing between a rock and a hard place.
basically, yeah, it's
Mm,
uh,
okay, I would guess Ricardo's gonna go first. So, do you think Reanimator is still favored postboard?
um I
I mean, we gotta see. Chat is giving a
yeah,
lot of energy to Carlos.
yeah.
Carlos
I
apparently is very popular with chat. We've seen so many energy memes, and he's making it work. Right, first turn, the opening, amazing.
yeah. Like that hand can probably also beat any post sideboard hand, really,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, Ricardo still got to play the game a little bit after the Grizzlebrand,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a world, where you. It's kind of hard to say. Like, I always feel like the first draw of Grizzlebrand, if you're unlucky, it's not that great, and it depends on like what's the Grizzlebrand. I think it was Exhumed or something. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's reanimated, you really only get one draw out of it. So I think, yeah. I mean, there's a reason we also have like Archon sometimes. Archon is not that great against 8 cast with all the stuff that you can sacrifice, but it's still amazing. So opening up on a Force of Negation is Ricardo. Is that another Force of Negation or is that an Emery?
I think that's like the last card is an Emery. We might even see 2 copies of Emery, maybe.
Which is fine, right? If you have Force of
Oh yeah,
Negation.
that's all right. Um,
Carlos is absolutely loaded with like reanimation spells. I think I've seen like 2 reanimates. There might be an Axiom in there as well. And yeah,
mhm.
okay, going for that Emery. Emery, Lurker in the Lock. What shall be your
Yeah,
gift to us?
I think Bobble is nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bubba's okay.
Yeah.
We get to draw 2 cards this turn. And
Some people call Emery the Dreadhot Arcanist 2.0.
yeah, some people like probably exaggerate a little bit. Yeah, I see the
Including
point.
myself.
By the way, there is Teferi there is Busicho in hand. Busicho is gonna allow us to proactively go after Animate Dead, right? So Busicho actually does counter Animate Dead in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And like part of me still wants to believe that there's maybe Loam in there, so just we can get Otawara back and stuff, but it's probably just like too greedy.
Yes.
Oh, there's Sai as well. Okay.
So-
So we might be able to put on like a pretty decent clock, especially since we have like Sai and Emery. Like those two guys, they absolutely love each other. Oh, maybe there goes Sai.
Yeah.
Or maybe like, see, if they take Sai, you don't like it. If they take Force of Negation, you hate it.
Hmm.
Because Sai, that's playing for a little longer game. Taking Force of Negation is playing for a much shorter game. And you feel like, oh, I might already have it. Right. Cleaning some dirt off the face of Sai, of Emery. Sure. And looks like Carl's just
Wow.
passing the turn. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
So we're gonna get that Sai down. We get the Thoughtcast. Thoughtcast, best friend of Sai. I wonder if we can actually make both, considering that we will also be able to play the Lotus Petal from the graveyard. And as most Legacy players know, you can actually like announce Thoughtcast and then crack Lotus Petal for it, so you get the bonus of it. You get you get the discount and you can pay with it. It's basically like having a cake and eating it too.
Yeah, it's almost like a
Oh
two
wait,
for one.
we do this before Sai? Oh, okay, so we're going straight to the Thoughtcast. We're not even like thinking about Sai, I guess. Sai is like more like an afterthought at this point. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, see, he does it the right way. We announce it and then we pay.
Mhm.
So we get a discount on three, and that means we only have to pay two. Yeah, two. Sure, draw two
Right.
cards. What is it? A Force, perfect pickup. A
And
Bobble, also decent. We'll also be able to replay a Bobble. I know we already like replayed the Lost Spell from Graveyard, but Bobble decent. We got the Force.
Mhm.
Carlos no longer able to operate on perfect information. I kind of like
Yeah.
this now that the Sai is gonna make for a rather quick beatdown. Potentially also card draw if we need it. I mean, we haven't fully seen what Carlos' hand looks like, but this could be like an end of turn entomb into reanimate. In which case, it's still tricky for Riccardo, right?
Like, do you usually force entombs?
You should. You should much more often than people do.
Yeah.
But it's such a hard
Oh,
call to make.
oh, I do it like all the time.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. Or I also force faithless looting aggressively.
Yeah.
As, as
We got Kai's
heck yeah,
recommendation.
heck yeah, yeah.
I like this so much.
Just don't let them put any fatty in the yard at the first place, and
No, yeah. Looks like Carlos might have picked up another Axiom. He's actually checking out the graveyard of, of Riccardo's. Like, Riccardo, you got anything?
is there like something to get here?
Yeah, so like Captain Cannon
Do I
or
get
something.
something for free?
No, just passing the turn. Oh, there's Thomas Crypt. Oh, yeah, things are looking so much more better for Riccardo
Oh
now.
damn. Oh wow, like Riccardo can like crypt Carlos every turn now.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So Riccardo, so even if Carlos finds Serenity, that works, right? Because then we destroy the Crypt, and then we can try to go for it in our turn. But he has to make it work that
Hmm.
time, because then Crypt is gonna come back the next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, this is strong. This is
It's a-
powerful. And
it's a-
we have an answer to Serenity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have Posicho.
yeah,
We can take out Serenity. Dude,
yeah.
this is looking so sweet for
Maybe-
Riccardo.
yeah, maybe Riccardo has like everything covered here.
Riccardo's like, okay, sweet. Now I make my token. Now I make another token.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this game is looking all Riccardo
Oh
right
my
now. I think we
goodness.
might actually. I don't want to call it too early because it's still Reanimator after all. But we might be headed for a third game, for the
Yeah.
final game of the final match of the final Legacy tournament of the
You know,
night.
when I saw Riccardo's opening hand, I was like, yeah, well, it could maybe survive for like a turn or two, but here we are.
By the way, do you think those tokens, those are the friends of Riccardo?
Maybe not anymore.
Would it be awkward? Like, what if you put your wife on one of those tokens? Would she like that?
I would like that.
You would like it. That sounds like she wouldn't like it. I said wife, sorry. You
Yeah. Maybe,
but a little too early on that.
yeah, you never know. Maybe future wife. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We got another Lotus Petal. We make another token. Yeah, this is like the damage output is going to spiral out of control very quickly. As we pick up a Lotus, a Chalice of the Void, and a Fairy Macabre. Like, this is completely out of control.
Oh yeah.
Like, if Carlos could see what's going on Ricardo's side, and I mean, he can see most of it except for the Fairy, he might just like be headed for the next game.
Oh. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's still the option to go for maybe for like a show and tell or something like that. There's a little bit of a clock on Riccardo's side. But you know, it's just a few thought those.
By the way, Inigo, Impact returns. Inigo is suggesting maybe they will gift some Savatarix tokens to Riccardo.
Oh
He doesn't
wow.
need to use his friends for tokens. I mean, I think he might like that. He might like his friends as tokens to just
Yeah.
get in there.
Savatarix in the house tomorrow.
Maybe he can pay you to draw his friends. That's a compromise. That's a compromise we can
Yeah.
make.
Okay.
So Carlos picks up the second land here. Still has a ton of reanimation. He's basically got the whole suit. He's got reanimate, he's got animate, he's got axiom.
I mean, there's even Serenity in it.
There is serenity, and he might
Like-
think that it's good enough, but it's not.
Like Carlos' hand is loaded
he has-
too.
He's got green mana as well, right? Lost Battle, yeah. Yeah, probably gonna fetch like something like a scrapland. Serenity. So how's this gonna work from here? We're gonna take out that Serenity, post attacks or something. So we attack for like 4, 5.
I mean,
Take
look at
plus-
this. Like typically, this would be. I don't want to say like game over, but this is like a disastrous card for 8 cast. But even that we got covered. Oh, this is so beautiful. Like, like everything got covered in this game.
Riccardo doesn't care. Like, okay, sure, you got that. I'm just gonna make more tokens. I'm gonna attack you for even more damage very soon. Dude, he's got so many friends, Leon. Look at this. At this rate, he's never gonna run out of friends. Like, if you have got the opportunity to be one of his tokens, you wanna be his friend.
For that, yeah.
Maybe those are all of his brothers or something. I don't know. Or his previous identities. He's reborn. That's how it works. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay. Yeah, we channel Boseiju. The only costs 1 mana because of Emery.
Ah, so sweet. So
Pretty
sweet.
cool, pretty cool. Carlos gets to search up his library for a land. I'm a little surprised to see a Badlands here because the only red card in his deck can be does get countered by Chalice. I thought maybe that the
Blue
Carlos would
Oh, you're looking like for maybe a blue card?
yeah,
So
I
short-
thought that
short-
Carlos
short
might
tail?
want to go for like an underground sea to eventually find like a show and tell.
Maybe he actually didn't bring in the show and tells.
No, or maybe he doesn't want to show the blue mana. Like
But,
maybe
Riccardo knows about it, right?
uh
It's open deck list.
oh yeah, it's open deck list. Okay. Like, Riccardo like hiding behind this chalice, like this is just like
He
dude,
really wants to
this-
make sure he's not forgetting the chalice.
yeah, dude. I'm just putting like this right in the middle next to Thomas script, you know, like this is he got like all the business in the middle.
He's hiding behind the wall.
Yeah.
And like,
Alright.
okay,
yeah,
we
I
had it
think
for
like
third
Carlos,
game.
yeah, Carlos has seen enough.
Riccardo's friends getting the job done together with a little help from like actually surprisingly old legacy tech and Torment script. Over the years, there have been many years where I've been saying, dude, the Torment script, it's not really a legacy card anymore. Like even when Relic of Progenitors was printed, I was like,
Yeah.
it's not. But now look at this.
Yeah, didn't we talk about this yesterday?
We might have, right?
I think
might
yeah,
have,
we talked about like you know what are the best graveyard hay cards, and we mentioned like the Black Ley line and like why people play like Fairy Macabre and like is I don't know like Nihil Spellbomb still a thing, you know, and Relic of Progenitus and what about Rest in Peace, yada yada yada. And I do think I think there's a reason why there's a Thomas script in Riccardo's deck list and not a 1 mana thing. I think
Oh, so you get to get past Chalice?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
that
think
makes sense.
so.
I mean, we saw it in this game, right?
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
All right. So back to the sideboarding. I don't think that many things change on the play versus on the draw. Again, like the Weirtail looks insane here. Same for the Serenities. Didn't see Oak Sporemaster. That probably is just a little too cute. I'm again like really tempted to see those like show and tells. Like they look kind of promising. Against like a Torment Trip, Chalice of the Void Start,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
they're also a little slow.
If Riccardo gets going, that's the problem, right? If Riccardo gets going and even just like gets Emery going, as we saw in this game, there's
Yeah.
many ways that things can go south. For
Yeah, maybe Carlos doesn't want to go for a medium fast show and tell, but
No, maybe I think Carlos just wants the game to win, like to put himself in a winning position on the first or second turn. I think that's the most likely scenario. But we do see the show and tells in the deck. I just spotted a show and tell there. So he
Alright.
might have brought those in.
and again, just because you see 4 show and tell doesn't mean that you have to put in all the show and tells, right? You can also like bring in like
Okay.
you know a copy or two.
So what's the most scary thing that Riccardo put in? Is it like Kappa Cannoneer? Kappa Cannoneer would be really scary. Like if you want to go for something that's like not Grizzlebrand and not Arc. Okay, okay. Actually, you have a lot of ways to still beat Kappa Cannoneer. You either got Lifelink or you got Arcan to take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty safe, I would think. Riccardo side of the board. Yeah, this is it. This is the last match. Draws notwithstanding. Last match, last game. It all comes down to a why. Who's going to be your Impact Returns champion? Kai, have you ever won Impact Returns?
Not yet.
You should try it.
Uh,
I hear it's really good.
I haven't tried yet, and I have not won yet. And maybe that's the problem.
Oh, you're also not playing Modern tomorrow, right?
I'm not playing Modern
I mean, you could
tomorrow.
play like a really fast Modern deck tomorrow and like then go back to auto. Like what? Chat. What's the fastest? And I mean, blistering fastest Modern deck that we got out there on the market for Kai. Like I literally want a deck that doesn't go beyond the first turn.
Oh my goodness.
What's the most glass cannon thing that you actually got out there?
I don't even know if there's such thing, but
Is there a Reanimator deck in Modern?
um so Archon of Cruelty
I mean,
Archon of Cruelty is legal.
yeah.
And you have access to things like Unmarked Grave and Persist, for example.
I mean, yeah, like creativity can like have that Reanimator angle. to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yes, that could work. Okay, here we go. Giving the deck a proper shuffle, handing it back.
Yeah, and thank you so much everyone for tuning in. We just reached 400 viewers and gain a lot of new followers. Thank you so much everyone for hanging out. Again, Impact Returns happening once per year in summer in Naron near A Coruña. And this is a beautiful place. Nice food. Most people might know like a place like Barcelona or Madrid, like any of those like major cities. Naron on the other side, like not as big, but very lovely.
Absolutely lovely seafood, chill people. By the way, if you want to practice your Spanish, I've never encountered a region in Spanish where the Spanish is easier to understand. That said, I still only understand like a very basic part of it. Like the vocabulary is insanely limited. I can ask you for the green apple, and I hope that's not like code for something dirty.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, seriously, people, if you wanna support like locally crafted legacy tournaments, like literally the community 10 years ago, they came together, they started playing legacy in a pub, and they've grown it all the way to this, where the city of Naron is actually saying, hey, guys, please do this legacy tournament. Like, I guess they call it magic tournament. It's the city. Maybe the mayor of Naron is actually playing in this. Turns out Carlos might actually be the mayor of Naron. We don't know.
Dude,
Have you asked him?
yeah, dude. Like you can have this
He could
tournament.
be a mayor.
You can have this tournament only if I get those underground seas.
Yeah, everybody has to concede to him.
And
like,
maybe
that's
that's
how it
like,
works.
the pact, you know. It's like everyone's like, oh, I guess I don't bring in my graveyard titan.
Yeah, I figured it's not going to be good enough, and like he's going to go for the show and tell us,
Right.
Sweet. Okay.
Like we're gonna like after this event, we also gonna talk about it on our next podcast episode. You can also hop over later to Spotify. It's the Everyday Eternal. It's Julian, Callum, and I am just talking random stuff. You know, it's not it's random.
Mostly shooting the shit. Sometimes trying to be tangentially relevant to legacy.
Trying to sound smart.
We're gonna have an episode, right? Reviewing all of this.
Oh,
in the future.
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
100%.
traveling to Portugal next week, so no recording there. Maybe the week or two after. Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
Like
Looking
my
forward to
goal would
that.
be to make as many people come to Naron for next year. I know that for the first time, you know, like I was a little suspicious myself, right? Like I saw where the location is, like, and I was like, well, it's kind of far from the airport, and you know, like, do I really get there in time, and yada yada yada. And dude, it is literally the best. Like if you like Four Seasons Bologna, you also like Impact Returns.
Those are the basic. Like,
yeah,
that's the second biggest event in Europe.
Seriously,
right?
like say no more. This is insane, guys. So yeah.
It's the next big thing to be. Like it's the place to be. So I'd love to see a lot of you people here next year when we're gonna be around again. And as we start off, dude, I hate that just like these free discard spells. It makes you feel like it's so unfair. They can do both things at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, we take out Emery. Interesting.
How do you like the Riccardo's opener?
I think it's okay. You got protection. You got Emery to like basically draw 2 cards a turn.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is actually you couldn't cast. Oh, so this is what's happening. Riccardo is hoping to draw a blue source, and if Riccardo is not drawing a blue source, he's still got a very quick clock in Urza Saga and a
Yeah.
protection spell. I think you keep that in a draw.
Oh, I like it quite a bit.
Yeah,
The Ursa Saga can pop off and get either a colored source in Mox Opal, but more importantly, probably a Tormod script. The Boseiju is also not terrible. Comes in pretty handy versus a potential like turn 2 Serenity.
animate that if you get to that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. If you
any
find the
of
mana.
those cards.
Like
Yeah.
at this point, it's mostly about finding the mana. We have the Lotus Petal that helps already. By the way, Yosan has the perfect tagline for impact returns, right? If you ever want to like start marketing impact returns with like a tagline, it's like Four Seasons, but eating octopus instead of pasta.
Oh dude,
this
this
is
is
how you get me.
oh totally yeah.
Yeah.
Like the seafood here is unreal, everyone.
We should have like a separate tournament just for eating seafood. Yeah, I mean seriously,
Like
like you guys could see our plates
who
here.
can
We
who
got
can
food
eat like
here, we got food
dude,
there.
so it's like
We are literally bathing in the middle. They stopped showing us because like we would only be seeing food around here. That's how it works, right?
how many octopus can you eat while your opponent's like doing his glimpse turn or something, you know?
Yeah, octopus like that. I mean, maybe that's why so many people are playing Sephiroth Breakfast today.
Yeah.
Like people have been saying Sephiroth
Yeah,
Breakfast is
dude.
taking a huge hit, but
Dude, like all
people
those
love their
cephalids,
seafood.
yeah. They're in the kitchen.
Cephalid seafood restaurant. That's what I would open one day if I had the money.
Already in the oven.
Probably like somebody who
Yeah.
already has that. Yeah. So, Carlos, what you got? Like, this is a pretty critical turn, right? We did not see an end of turn Entomb, which is kind of
Yeah,
cool. Like, from
yeah.
Ricardo's perspective, you're like super happy about that. It means like Carlos has to work with something else. It could be a show and tell. We know that's not the case. Is that a Wear Tear in hand? Yeah, that's a Wear Tear in hand. But Carlos decides to go for the Void Walker instead.
Now we haven't seen Void Walker in the second game. And to be completely honest, I
Of
don't
course, if we pick up,
I don't like it as much.
it's
Just
not gonna
like
race, right? It's probably not gonna
it's
race.
not gonna raise. Like it looks terrible versus Ursa Saga. It's brilliant versus Emery, of course, but Emery's already in the yard. Damn. Like yeah, if I was Riccardo, I would feel really good about this.
Yeah. So is this the moment where we actually fire off that Wear Tear? Like we can take out the Urza Saga. So the idea, I guess, is you either let Riccardo make the token, then you kill the token in the Saga, if you have enough mana, right? Or you go after the Lotus Petal, because that's the only source of like Caleb mana right now. I mean, next turn if we.
Yeah, it's rough, man. Like if the saga, like if the saga needs to get destroyed, I think.
Yeah.
Even though
Pluto
yeah,
Saga
even though
Neon
there's a
City
second
Land
copy in Ricardo's hand, I believe.
Oh, okay, aggressive. You're just gonna go after the grief. Awkward spot for Ricardo. Do you like force this, or do you let Carlos take away one of your
Yeah.
counter spells potentially?
Like this could potentially be okay.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
the play we talked
goodness.
about earlier. Yes, we actively countered the animate that. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, the downside though is that now we can't make a token, right? It's 2 mana.
Yeah,
actually,
we cannot, but that still might be okay. I really don't know what's going on here.
I would rather counter this, make the token, and then still have the or not do anything. Actually, maybe I like that even more. Yeah,
Ah, I see.
I don't really like the procedure here, and I think Ricardo came to the same conclusion because you want to keep the procedure available for Serenity. You don't know whether there's going to be Serenity.
Yeah,
and stuff,
that's a fair point.
because
fair
that
point.
would actually like totally like blow you away.
Uh-huh.
You're taking the force. Yeah. Doesn't really look like Carlos cares too much about the Sai. I can see that right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, take 3 damage. And we were saying like the Void Walker is not going to win the race. I mean, Ricardo is losing a lot of life to the Ancient Tomb here, but I still think it's in favor of the constructs, but it's closer than I thought it was. And they're probably like, I would guess that Spear would also be taken out, right? Shadows?
Yeah, Shadows. Yeah. Probably. The Shadow Sphere, I can't imagine that the Shadow Sphere is still in the deck, because Ricardo's not prepared for
Whoa, we missed
this
the trigger on the Saga.
this kind of game.
Did Riccardo just pass back? He missed the trigger to take the Saga to 3. If he actually passed back right now. Oh, he pointed at Carlos, so Carlos probably had like a life total discrepancy. I thought the pointing at Carlos was like,
Okay.
it would have also like skipped your attack. Like it would have been horrible to pass it on that. No way. Okay, and yeah. What are you gonna get here, Kai? Is this like an Ursus Saga? Is this gonna be like Mox Opal to give us more colored mana?
I do like Mox Opal. I also don't hate the Tormod
script, yeah.
Potentially, even though there's really nothing in Carlos' graveyard right now.
So from the way the game has gone, I would like if I was Ricardo, I would actually think that Carlos has show and tell, because Carlos like didn't even show interest in killing the Saga, right? He didn't really go after it with the Wertail.
And Carlos, I mean, Carlos has a creature already in hand. It's Atraxa Grand Unifier is already in hand. It's lacking a little bit of mana here, and the show and tell itself. But maybe this then getting like the Tormod script is like the safe how to say, like the safe pattern maybe, where you basically lock the graveyard for now, just make sure that nothing funny
happens.
Nothing
It's like the Reanimator
nothing
style.
fancy.
Is it happy? I destroy it. I destroy your happiness. I mean, it certainly has done mine for a lot of times.
Happy death.
I was just telling you the other day, right? I think that's the 4th time in a row the other day that I lost the showcase, the challenge top 8 to Reanimator. It's my nemesis. I don't know. There's so many ways I can't beat it.
You told me a million times that you lost to Doughty Voidwalker.
Yeah, I mean that's how they do it.
Oh, okay.
That's how they do it. Sometimes you don't expect it. Then you bring in Fury or keep in Fury. Then they reanimate you Fury, kill your board again. Then you realize, oh, I have to keep it bold. And now you're the guy keeping it bold against Reanimator. So yeah.
Oh god.
No matter which way you do it, you end up on the wrong side of what I was gonna say history, in this case of the quarterfinals, at least for me. Yeah, but Carlos and Riccardo, like this game is still far from over, right? Both players have like a lot of play. I think Riccardo is certainly significantly favored right now, but he's got the pitch card for the Force of Negation. He's got Thoughtcast. He could actually try to go for a Thoughtcast here, just like pick up some more mana. Or even like relevant spells. The Sai is going to be the pitch fodder. Like Sai is kind of cool though in the way that every side trigger deals 2 more damage, right? Because you got the 2 constructs. So that already makes me like want to do something cute, even though I probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Like so the creature, like the grief has like menace, and there's like some shadow going on. Like Carlos creatures are not easy to block. And Riccardo's constantly using that Ancient Tomb, which kind of adds to
down to 8, right?
Adds to, yeah,
scary.
It is
and only 1 attacker, and that's only like a 3/3. And like if you want to make another attacker, I mean you still have some time to decide, but it's actually getting critical.
Like I think that that the one card that Riccardo wants the most, and which he probably doesn't have anymore, is Shadow Sphere.
Yeah.
But who would have thought that the third game is gonna go like this, you know?
See, I tell you, and this is what leads you to bring in keep in Lightning Bolt, because this is the exact scenario. We've been in this place so many times. I want to say Voidwalker is one of the best sideboard cards for Reanimator ever printed.
Yeah, cannot be blocked.
It does just like so many things, and like also stealing whatever the opponent is doing. Somebody in chat pointed out that you could even use Voidwalker to defend your own show and tell at some point if there's like a counter war about it or something. Like you make your own counter war. This is like,
yeah, I would like that.
All of a sudden I don't feel that great for Riccardo anymore. Like, do you make the second construct here? It puts you to 6. That's 2 swings.
Man, yeah, it's pretty rough. You do have an out to the grief in Boseiju on the animate that.
Oh, you know what would also happen here?
You could also like try to draw 2 into an Otawara, maybe to bounce maybe the Doughty Voidwalker for a turn or something like that.
That's what I'm wondering. You could try and get the pirate the spellbomb.
Yeah, spellbomb's not bad.
Yeah, spellbomb is like it's winning the game, right? If you can actually like take out the Voidwalker here, you're in a perfect spot. Like all of a sudden, like the game changes once again. And did we side out the spellbomb? That's the question, though.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Like we were talking about how if you can rebuy it with Emery, there are like scenarios where it's actually relevant. Like this one, you don't even need to rebuy it. So let's see.
Yeah.
Oh
I-
wait. I was talking about like how it's 2 swings, or like if you go to 6. I totally forgot about the grief that's there. So the grief is like -1/-0, so that's like 5 damage. And then Riccardo survives at 1 life,
Mhm.
but cannot use the ancient tomb anymore. Oh, this is tricky.
Yeah.
But there's the second token up there, and that's gonna win the game for him unless Carlos has something.
Yeah. This is like really tight.
You know, animate that. It has a downside. It shrinks your creature. Can't always get there. So at that point, if I'm Carlos, I'm actually looking at, okay, what is removed for Voidwalker? Is there any kind of shenanigans I can pull with Voidwalker here? And I don't think there is anything I can do here really.
Yeah. Like those constructs are big enough. They can kill Carlos on the backswing. Um.
Yeah, chip
If
take 3.
yeah, if Ricardo decides to use any of those Lotus Petal for Boseiju, those constructs shrink, and that
It might be good enough though, because now like the grief is obviously staying back to block, right?
Mhm.
That's the whole idea. You jump block, you try to stay alive.
Mhm.
Ricardo can take it out. So how big are the constructs? Are going to be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, with no other artifacts. So they're like 6/6. That's not enough. Oh,
like,
that's
I
actually
mean,
that's
like,
tricky.
I mean, like the saga's gonna get an artifact.
So that's 8 damage then.
Probably something like a Mox Opal, maybe.
Yeah, that's 8 damage then. And we picked up another artifact. Okay, that should do it. I'm pretty sure unless Carlos got anything going, we got overkill now. We got enough damage as long as we're not missing our Saga checker. Yeah. Going for the Saga. No. Yeah, we got enough. Looks like, oh dude, is Riccardo actually pulling this off? Losing the first game to Reanimator, as it often happens. Yeah, I think Riccardo's just like double, triple checking. Why wouldn't you, right?
Like this, yeah, this game is like razor sharp.
We got 1 mana floating. It really doesn't even matter all that much what you get here. Like you mentioned, Mox Opal. I don't hate that, but yeah, Spellbomb. It stayed in. Even better, we found the Seed of the Synod. We can just like literally get rid of the grief. At that point, we are really only scared of like what Carlos could have in hand. But I think Ricardo's holding a Force of it, is he not? Or was it Force of
It
Negation?
might have been. I think it's a force of negation.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
that might still be good enough. The 1 floating mana, is it gonna do anything for us? Don't really need it, I guess. Actually, you could use like one of your Lotus Pets to take out the grief, basically. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. And then that way we still have hardcast Force of Negation up, going down to exactly 1 life. I like that. I like that. Please don't get greedy by like casting Thoughtcast or something. We don't really need that, right?
you know, like I think like I would have cast Thoughtcast like a million times already.
Well, we just do it for the turn, so that makes it hard.
Oh man, like drawing 2 cards, such a good feeling, you know.
Yeah. What's better than drawing 2 cards? Drawing your opponent's hopes and dreams out of the body,
God damn it.
drawing them into exile, and
dude,
taking the trophy.
I was kind of prepared for some big speech.
No. Like after 8 rounds of Swiss and 3 rounds of the finals, we're not gonna go deep into how to actually play the game. We already figured out how we're gonna win, unless Carlos gets something. No, that should be the win.
This is 10 points of damage, and we haven't
even more.
Oh, we have 12 points, and we have a hard cast Force of Negation ready.
Oh
my goodness, and that will do it.
Riccardo Bragato takes down the tournament, becomes your 2023 Impact Return champions. 3 Underground Seas for you, my friend. Carlos gets 2 Tundras, and yeah, 8cast once again coming out on top. One of the best decks in the Legacy format right now. Whoa, like hats off to both players. Like this is a grueling tournament. If you have to go this deep into a tournament, it's super hard. And like trying to find the right tight lines. And you see, right? Riccardo was like navigating this perfectly. He figured out, okay, how do I actually win this race? And can you imagine like how close it actually got? Like, we had so many construct tokens made, but Ancient Tomb has a cost. It's not like it's free.
It's not. It's never been free, and never will be.
Until Wizards decides, you know, in the interest of standard, your starting life total will be 60.
That was some great magic we captured on camera right here. I hope you guys had a good time. This was really nice finals game. I thought that it would be over maybe like after a few minutes maybe. But especially the third game, kind of showcased like a lot of back and forth between those 2 players. And Yeah, it was a delight to watch some high quality Legacy.
There was a delight to just like have the honor to be here, to actually be offered to represent like our podcast and also like bring this out to the international Legacy community. Because in the past, from what I understand, and Chad, I really appreciate Impact Returns doing this, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
They decided, okay, from now on going forward, we're gonna cast this in English, right? We're gonna
Totally.
have like one of the biggest Legacy tournaments in the world, one of the biggest Legacy tournaments in Europe. Let's try to spread the news, because I had heard about Impact Returns, right?
Right.
It's not like I was completely oblivious of it. I did not understand how big of a production this is.
Oh yeah, this is kind of insane, and I'm more surprised that they invited like 2 monks.
I'm also surprised they invited me.
Just to the caster booth. It's like, is that really okay? If apparently it is, yeah. So and thank you so much everyone for
Everybody, once again, thank you so much. Follow Impact Returns. Also, post your favorite moments on Twitter. Check out the Legacy quiz that you do with Kai. We had 2 Legacy quizzes. What are the most obscure cards that ever top 8 in the Legacy GP? And what are the 10 most or 6 most played cards across all Legacy GPs?
Yeah.
You got it right. First place was probably easy to guess. Everybody else, you can check it out later on in the VOD. It's also going to be on YouTube. Follow Julian. Yes, follow Julian. I'm at It's Julian23 on Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube. I should be. Oh, okay. My YouTube is way too complicated. Don't really post all. Just at It's Julian23 on Twitter. Everything else follows from there. And Kai, people can find you on at Savatarix.
It's at Savatarix on all social media channels, and my
I
brand
envy
new
you.
homepage, savatarix.com. Also also tomorrow there will be a modern main event. However, we won't be here in the. Are you going to be here?
No. I'm going to be around, but not in the
See,
booth.
so tomorrow we out of here. We have some real modern professionals sitting instead and just talking about Omnath and the One Ring. Meanwhile, I'll be sitting on the other side of the hall and doing my Savatarix booth. So yeah, if you're around, please stop by. Make sure to grab some of those like new Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Shaman, Goblin tokens, or you can also directly challenge me in Modern and Legacy. And it's gonna be a good Sunday for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you once again so much for tuning in. And be back next year for Impact Returns 2024. It keeps returning, coming back. Impact never not returns. Is that a thing? Yeah.
So, dude, I can bet my arse. I'll be here next year. Exactly. Same location. This is fantastic. So please check it. Yeah.
Hasta año próximo. Hasta año. Okay, until next year, everybody. I promise I will practice my Spanish. And yeah, thank you so much and be back soon. Bye bye. Tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. Modern.